So, I decided not to eat anything for 5 straight days. And honestly, I thought it was going to be pure torture. I pictured myself starving, weak, and just plain miserable. But what actually happened was the complete opposite. By day 3, I experienced a level of energy and mental clarity I haven't felt in years, and the whole journey unlocked an awareness I didn't even know was there. In this video, I'm going to walk you through my entire 5-day fast, day by day, and show you exactly what happens to your body and your mind when you just stop eating. Before we get into it, a quick but super important reality check. I am not a doctor or a medical professional. This is my personal experience, and you should not take it as medical advice. A long fast like this isn't for everyone, and it absolutely comes with risks. If you're even thinking about trying something similar, please talk to a healthcare professional to make sure it's a safe and smart choice for you. The why? Alright, so why on earth would anyone voluntarily give up food for 5 days? It wasn't really about dropping a few pounds, though that can be a nice bonus. The truth is, I was feeling stuck. I was wrestling with constant brain fog, running on caffeine and sugar, and just feeling disconnected from my own body. I kept coming across stories about the wild benefits of prolonged fasting, not just physical, but mental and even spiritual. People were talking about resetting their entire relationship with food, hitting this incredible state of mental clarity, and unlocking a deeper sense of who they are. I started digging into the science, and honestly, my mind was blown. The idea that by simply not eating, you could kickstart these powerful, built-in healing systems in your own body was just fascinating. I wanted to experience the flip into ketosis, the cellular spring cleaning called autophagy, and the hormonal reset everyone was describing. More than anything, I wanted to see if I could break free from the cravings and emotional eating that had become my normal. It was a personal challenge, a science experiment, and a spiritual journey all rolled into one. I had to know, what's on the other side of hunger? Day 1. The illusion of hunger. The first 24 hours were a total head game. The day started like any other. I woke up, chugged a big glass of water with some electrolyte salts to stay balanced, and got on with my morning. The real fight wasn't physical hunger, it was the psychological pull of routine. The clock would hit noon, and my brain would just scream, lunchtime. The evening came, and the urge to sit down for dinner with my family was almost a physical force. This wasn't real, deep-down hunger. It was the ghost of my habits. My body was still cruising on its glycogen stores, basically, the readily available sugar saved up in the liver and muscles. Think of glycogen as the cash in your wallet. It's the first thing your body reaches for when it needs energy. This first phase, which takes about the first 12 to 18 hours, is all about spending that immediate cash. Physically, I felt okay. A little empty, sure, but not weak. I did get a few mild headaches, which is common as the body starts to adjust. Staying on top of my water intake was everything. But the craziest part of day 1 was the mental noise. Every food ad on TV, every meal on Instagram, every chat about dinner plans felt like it was on full blast. It really smacks you in the face how much our entire lives, and our social lives, are built around food. Mentally, I had to keep coming back to my why. I was a bit irritable as my body started asking for the sugar it was used to. But underneath it all, a sense of resolve was growing. I was already learning lesson number 1. Most of what I thought was hunger was just habit. As I closed out the first 24 hours, I knew the real test was coming. My body was about to run out of easy money and would have to make a huge shift to a new economy. Day 2. The switch and the struggle. Day 2 was, without a doubt, the hardest part of the whole thing. This is when your body really gets the memo that something has changed. My glycogen stores were officially gone. The cash in my wallet was spent, and my body had to figure out how to get into the savings account, my stored body fat. This transition is when you feel the worst. I woke up feeling foggy, sluggish, and weak. My energy completely tanked, and I'm not gonna lie, I thought about quitting more than once. This is the phase where your body starts the move into ketosis. It begins breaking down fat to create ketones, which are an amazing alternative fuel, especially for the brain. But that metabolic switch isn't like flipping a light switch. It's more like a hybrid car sputtering as it switches from gas to electric. My body was yelling for its usual glucose, and the hunger pangs on day 2 were the real deal, driven by the hunger hormone, ghrelin, which was still showing up for its regularly scheduled shifts. I was also freezing, which I learned is pretty common as the body conserves energy. I had to take a nap in the afternoon. A bit of gentle movement helped, but anything tough was a definite no-go. Mentally, it was a pure test of will. The brain fog was thick, and trying to focus on anything complicated was a battle. But under the surface of all that struggle, something incredible was happening. My insulin levels were plummeting. Chronically high insulin is tied to all sorts of health problems, and by fasting, I was giving my body a chance to reset its insulin sensitivity. This is a crucial step for better metabolic health down the line. Mentally, day 2 was all about just letting go. You have to surrender to the suck, basically. You have to accept the discomfort and trust that your body knows what it's doing. I kept telling myself that this exhaustion was a sign of my body doing exactly what it was supposed to. It was rewiring itself from a sugar burner to a fat burner. The discomfort was a sign of change, and I knew if I could just push through this day, something good was on the other side. Day 3. The turning point. Clarity emerges. I woke up on day 3, and it was like someone had flipped a switch. The fog was gone. The gnawing hunger had vanished. The weakness was replaced by this smooth, steady energy that felt completely different from my usual caffeine-fueled highs. This is the moment fasters rave about, the big turning point. It was real, and it was incredible. My body had successfully made it into a deep state of ketosis. My liver was now a ketone-making machine, and my brain was feasting on this premium fuel. The result, for me, was a stunning level of mental clarity and focus. My thoughts felt sharp, my concentration was effortless, and the brain fog that had been my unwanted companion for so long was just gone. Some people report that the feeling of fatigue can continue, so experiences can vary, but for me, it felt like a veil had been lifted. This cognitive boost isn't just a feeling, there's science to it. Ketones are a more efficient fuel for the brain than glucose. Fasting also encourages the production of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, which is like miracle grow for your brain. BDNF helps with the growth of new neurons and can enhance learning and memory. I honestly felt like my brain was getting a real-time upgrade. This is also when a process called autophagy is believed to really kick into high gear. The word literally means self-eating. Now, most of the hard data on this comes from animal studies, but the science suggests our bodies start a deep spring cleaning at a cellular level, identifying and recycling old, damaged parts. It's linked to longevity and a reduced risk of various diseases. Spiritually, the silence of hunger let other things come to the surface. Without the constant cycle of planning, cooking, and eating, there was all this new space in my mind. I felt a much stronger sense of presence and mindfulness. The experience was forcing me to live from a place of awareness rather than physical impulse, and my inner world felt clearer than ever. Day 3 was the payoff for getting through the misery of day 2. It was proof that on the other side of discomfort lies a seriously upgraded state of being. Day 4. Deep healing and heightened awareness. Day 4 was a continuation and deepening of the clarity and energy from day 3. Being in ketosis was my new normal, and I was fully fat adapted. The steady supply of ketones kept my mind sharp and my body feeling light and strong. Hunger was a distant memory, replaced by a calm sense of self-sufficiency. My body wasn't looking outside for fuel anymore, it was running smoothly on its own supply. This is the phase of deep cellular repair. The autophagy that started ramping up was now in full swing. My body was hard at work clearing out old, dysfunctional, zombie cells that contribute to aging and inflammation. This is also where some fascinating research, mostly from animal studies and early human trials, suggests that prolonged fasting can promote the regeneration of stem cells, particularly within the immune system. The idea is that the body clears out old, worn-out immune cells, and then when you start eating again, it triggers the creation of fresh, new ones, a total reset for your body's defense systems. Mentally, the clarity was no longer a surprise, it was my new baseline. I felt more creative and could work through complex problems with a flow I hadn't experienced in ages. By reducing inflammation and boosting BDNF, fasting creates an optimal environment for the brain to thrive. And on a spiritual level, wow! With all the physical and mental noise turned way down, my inner world became incredibly vivid. It was easier to quiet the usual mental chatter and connect with a deeper part of myself. This is a state that spiritual traditions have used for thousands of years. By denying the body's most basic urges, you develop a new level of self-control and humility. You learn to tell the difference between the body's loud demands and the quiet wisdom of your own spirit. I felt a profound sense of peace and gratitude. The fast was no longer about what I was losing, it was about everything I was gaining. Day 5. The climax and the beginning of the end. On the final day, I woke up feeling serene and accomplished. The clean energy and sharp focus were still there, along with a deep sense of inner peace. My body felt like a finely tuned instrument. Of course, I lost weight. One review of multiple studies found that a 5-day fast can lead to a 4–6% reduction in body weight. However, it's important to know this is a mix of fat, water, and some lean muscle mass. But honestly, the number on the scale felt like the least important part of the whole experience. The real change was all internal. I had successfully reset my hormonal balance. My insulin sensitivity was dramatically improved, which is huge for long-term metabolic health. The hope is that it also helps restore sensitivity to leptin, the hormone that tells you you're full, which can be key to breaking the cycle of cravings. My body had relearned the difference between true hunger and just plain habit. The mental growth was immense. I had proven to myself that I could push through a major physical and mental wall. That builds a kind of resilience that sticks with you. Spiritually, I felt cleansed and renewed. The 5 days of quiet had given me clarity on big questions I'd been wrestling with for months. It was like by physically emptying myself out, I created space to be filled with insight. As the day went on, my mind turned to breaking the fast, and this is probably the most critical part of the whole process. After 5 days of total digestive rest, you can't just dive into a cheeseburger. That is seriously dangerous and can cause major gut issues or even a life-threatening condition called refeeding syndrome. You have to reintroduce food slowly and gently. My plan was to start with bone broth, which is packed with nutrients but super easy on the system. Small amounts of things like avocado, cooked veggies, or a few berries are also great options. The key is to go slow, listen to your body, and gradually bring back other foods over the next couple of days. You want to gently wake your digestive system up, not shock it back to life. Taking that first sip of broth was incredible, not because I was starving, but because it was a conscious, grateful act of nourishing myself. The 5-day journey was over, but it really felt like a new beginning. So, what really happens when you don't eat for 5 days? You don't just lose weight. You flip a metabolic switch inside your body, turning it into a fat-burning, self-cleaning machine. You give your brain a superior fuel, unlocking clarity and focus you might not have felt in years. You give your hormones a reset, break free from sugar cravings, and build a deep sense of resilience. For me, this fast was one of the most challenging and rewarding things I've ever done. I went in expecting to be deprived and came out feeling abundant, full of energy, clarity, and a deeper connection to myself. It was a powerful reminder that our bodies have this incredible, innate wisdom and a capacity to heal if we just give them a chance. This journey taught me that real strength isn't just about what you can do, but what you can choose not to do. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever tried fasting, whether for a day or longer? What was your experience? Share your story in the comments below. It could be the inspiration someone else needs. And if you found this video helpful and want to go deeper into health, performance, and self-discovery, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching.